Lucy Person.
No, it's the, trigger accounts. Appreciate it. Councilman Cloud.
Yes, sir. Gracious Father, we thank you, we love you, we magnify your name, God. We ask that you would just order our steps on tonight as we discuss the town's business and the budgets and all the things that concern the town. God, we ask that we would just keep you in mind, keep you at the forefront of all things, and help ask you to lead us and guide us. God, and touch first responders and allow them to be safe, God, as they travel up and down the dangerous highways. God, we just thank you and we love you. We magnify your name. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please follow in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is taking roll call, starting with Mr. Arlen Rodriguez.
Here.
Okay, next in line is Justin Flowers.
Here.
Okay, we have Courtney Whitmer.
Here.
And next is Mayor and Charles Shepherd.
Here.
Here. And Selena Terrell is absent.
The agenda is before you. We haven't, I guess we've been amiss with this. We did it last time. A motion to move on with the agenda.
Motion to move forward with the agenda.
Second. All in favor?
Yes.
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 Okay, the minutes in the book are the ones that were under review from the 7th and the 28th. Obviously, you can't vote on those today, but if you do have any other pending changes, it will be brought up in the meeting coming up, the next council meeting. And at the council's convenience, we'll move forward. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yep. Good.
Okay. Old business, we've been discussing the garbage situation in town, reference Meridian and MDI. I want to caveat this from a note from the last meeting. I was asked to have our contract reviewed by the lawyer. Initial thoughts are we're not sure we can get out of it until that 180-day period, which is coming up in like November. But he hasn't come back with a definite opinion yet. Besides that, I'd like to introduce then Mr. Heath Sadler.
Yes, sir.
From MDI to give us thoughts on their organization.
Yeah, well, my name is Heath Sadler. I'm with MDI, and we specialize in residential, commercial, and industrial services. We have a great presence with local communities. We, try to be part of the community. So we're currently servicing just within the last 90 days. We picked up the city of Elma, Dale County, and Arrington. Just, as a matter of fact, just a few weeks ago, they were having a similar problem as yours, where they weren't getting the trash picked up. So they had reached out and contacted us, and we were able to start service almost immediately due to poor service. So I wanted to extend the same opportunity to New Brockton, that we are here, we're a local company. I am the representative, so unfortunately my phone number would be everywhere. So if you guys ever have a problem, you have a direct link, not only myself, but our team of operators that are right down in Dothan, Alabama. We are in Enterprise and Elba 4 days a week. 5 if we have to. But like I said, our focus is on residential service. So I want to answer any questions anybody might have that, I can deal with now.
Do we have any information on cost?
Yeah, after further review, you'll be right around $17 per house. That keeps it under the $10,000 threshold. That would potentially make it a little bigger than it needs to be. So, we reevaluated everything, because we do have so many trucks running through the area. It's not really out of the way whatsoever.
So you said that it'll be right up under 10,000?
Yes. Based on, if my numbers are correct, 590 customers, and 590 times 17, I think probably just under 10 grand. Is that incorrect?
No.
Okay, that's bad math then on my part.
Yeah.
What's that number?
10 is over 10,000.
$1,030.
Oh, well, what I did is I factored in us giving you guys approximately 20 to 30 cans.
Okay.
Those are free of charge, which I should have probably let in with that. So technically, I'm guessing you guys would be right around 550, because the cities get cans at no charge, the local parks get cans, post office, anything that the municipality requires a can to be in, we give them to. That's our in-kind donation. So that's how I came up with the number, because I came up with like 9,800 or something, and neglected to tell you that those cans would be free.
So will y'all be able to manage that volume? I hear you saying Enterprise, Nova.
Yeah, we currently provide services for about 10 to 12 different communities right now. I think we have a little over 20,000 residential customers in the area, and we also have, close to 20,000 industrial. So we have a large fleet of trucks that run the streets daily.
So if one breaks down, it's not gonna impact our hometown
No.
trash not being picked
No,
up.
because we do have, we have a list of what we call frontline trucks. So we would have, 28 frontline trucks, and we have, 17 secondary trucks and 14, spare trucks. So we're never at a truck situation where we're not running trucks. We're running trucks all the time. So that's not an issue. And as far as handling the volume, that's what we do. And we're locals. That makes it a little easier. And I'm not saying that because, one company's real far away. We're right in the backyard. So, if there's an emergency or something goes wrong, if there's an issue, it's resolved within the hour. Whether you have FEMA trucks come out here within the hour, or whether just me or, one of my team members come out within the hour. It's that easily accessible. Sometimes it's too accessible, because I get a lot of calls sometimes. Hey, can you come out and check this out? Yeah, sure.
Gracie, with you dealing with trash, what are your thoughts?
I think the move to MDI would be great for not only our citizens but us too. As far as he and I have a great working relationship. Anytime I call, he's always there. So I think it'd be a great move.
How will it affect the software that we?
It won't affect the software at all.
We're the software, we're billing on an address, by address, not by company.
So we write a check to the company
18,
and send it, and it's
18 total.
the payments don't get sent to their company.
Well, I think that sounds wonderful, and I appreciate you
So-
coming here tonight to tell us all that.
The total would go to approximately $19. Is that correct?
We'd probably need to go up to about 19, yeah. Because we're charging 16 per can currently,
And $2.
and $2 leave and limb. We would need to make a $1 adjustment. Correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, we did just get an increase from Meridian also, didn't we?
Yeah, they go to some traffic.
So Meridian has increased us once again. I think it'd be a great move. I think it would make our citizens a lot happier, but we'd increase it to $17 with the $2 leave and limb pickup, which would put it at 19.
Which I think at the last time we discussed this, the citizens also had said that they wouldn't mind, or those that were here, that they wouldn't mind the increase with
That's
more
correct.
reliable service.
Mhm.
That's just what the rate that kind of said, so.
was talking to the gentleman earlier, and one thing he happened to mention, not necessarily that we have to use it, but they also offer bulk pickup.
Both pick up on a by-call basis?
So it would have to be worked out how we would do it. You know, it might be a route, might be, you know, 1 day a week, 1 day a month. That's something that we would integrate into the agreement, you know, however you guys saw fit to make it happen. You know, if somebody wanted it.
Additional fee would that be?
I don't know at this time. That's not something I had factored in. I actually thought you guys were doing your own, you know, with the claw truck. But we would probably, if I had to guess, run it with a rear load truck. And it would be maybe once every other week, maybe once a month. But that's something I can put a balance to.
Here, it's a service additional that like a resident can sign up.
I think all those are possible.
Well, I think it's a great avenue to explore. I'm grateful that you came. I'm grateful that you're local, and you support a lot of local nonprofits that I see that NDI supports. So that's meaningful to me. So I actually had the opportunity to talk to Cal Franklin today with Meridian, and it didn't sound promising on the delivery of service, you know, or the consistency and the continuity of services that we were receiving. He didn't really seem too concerned. It's small and broad and hey, so be it type of deal. And I don't mean to talk bad about another company that we're using, but I just want to keep the facts the facts. So
And I'm gonna continue, you know, the lawyers had the paperwork for since Thursday. So,
Courtney, about the bulk pickup, I have the option to add rate codes. So currently we have so many rate codes and it goes for how many cans you have. And so I have the option to add a rate code. So say a customer wants to do the bulk pickup on a regular basis, I can add that rate code and it would be added to their garbage bill.
sort of on an on-call basis.
I would think.
Could
it
probably-
be worth
it would-
For the company to run a truck like that, so I would think we would have to table that,
Right.
brainstorm and see if we had enough people interested in the
Right.
service, for it to be worth his while and worth the amount to get them out here.
Agreed, but putting a rate code in is always an option on the billing software.
I'm keeping you busy, we got junk.
Any other comments from the council? Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming out.
My pleasure.
Next item on old business, I've had some updates on the offers of the Old Town Hall. I think I mentioned at the last meeting that one gentleman had pulled his offer back due to other financial concerns. I have 2 offers in the book, but talking to both of those, they are resubmitting their offers. So I really wasn't going to give you something that isn't up to date. And we can just continue to work that as the town sees fit. But we still have 2 offers on the book, they're just not up to date and they're going to be reworked. Talk to the realtors and the people who have submitted the paperwork. Any questions on that? No. New business. CETOL has a presentation.
Hi everyone, I'm going to present 3 quarters of data with budget versus actuals. How it came about, I was asked for help from Eric in May, and since then I've been compiling the data through June 30th. Before I present my information, I'm going to say there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. I had informed Eric and the mayor about, currently they're using QuickBooks as their financial system. However, not everything is utilized in QuickBooks. Therefore, you cannot just say, let's run an income statement and know exactly where we stand as a town. Because of this, Eric also was informed to call QuickBooks and find exactly what package he has, and they offer free training to utilize the software. I believe in our conversation, Eric had proposed like finding out about other subscriptions or packages. So that's something that should be added on the budget in case of costs. That's just an idea out there.
Under the general funds.
Yes, right now your guys are paying $229 a month for subscription fee, but I'm not sure what that covers. I will privilege that information.
Can't hear what you said with the air conditioning.
I'm sorry, what?
Can't hear with the air conditioning.
He's just asking you to speak up a little
Okay.
bit. That's
I'll
all.
speak up, okay. Okay, so on October 21st, 2024, Town Council prepared proposed budgets and they agreed on proposal number 1. I also have the budget that Eric and the mayor agreed on when they presented the template Eric initially showed me. I formatted that template to have the information I need in a useful manner so I could present the data of where we stand now. So, I'm gonna put my glasses. I'll give you the good news first. Looking at, on my spreadsheet, this information here is what I'm going to talk first, and then I'll go up to the other information. This is the agreed proposal from council, their budget by department. Total of $845 for the fiscal year, broken out by payroll and operational expenses. Based on my calculations provided by Eric, actuals plus the fourth quarter estimate takes us to $868, a variance of $22,409, which is not bad. That's very good. Looking at what Eric and the mayor provided to me as templates for each of the departments, their budget was significantly higher. It was $985,316 overall for all the departments. Out of that, if I use their budget numbers, actuals and estimate, their variance is $117,000 that is still available. So looking at everything, I mean, this is just a summary, overall summary, but I do have in a detailed format where I can provide the labor breakdown, the operational expenses, and by departments. What this purpose of behind this meeting was to inform everyone on the council how to interpret the data that you are given. Now, I know there's some, I use their initials, but this is broken out by, this is the 3 quarters, okay? This is showing what the hours are, the dollars are. This is just a summary, and if you want details, I can always pull details. This is how I came about the fourth quarter estimate. Information was missing that I believe was very important on the data that was provided through June 30th, which were the quarterly taxes, and which I have here on the side, plus the polling expense of $30,000 to say what should be added to the fourth quarter since it's not recognized in our 3 quarters of data. I came up with this number as the estimate for the fourth quarter, and that's the number that is broken down to say what the total is for year to date. Now, if I go into, these are the information. Operational expenses. This tab is operational expenses broken out by the different departments, that showing the budget number, the 3 quarters, and what's available based on what was provided. How I informed the mayor and Eric when we went over the police budget initially, you can reallocate the funds, move them around to the needs, but my suggestion would be to stay with the budget that you had last year, because there's a lot of inefficiencies about accounting for the numbers correctly that I will not increase anything. Based on what was provided and looking at the proposed number the council agreed on, as I said, was 22,000, which in my mind is really a good target. Now, I believe there's efficiencies that can happen that I'm talking behind you guys' back. There's efficiencies that can happen, for instance, looking at payroll, how things are done. There's one based on my notes. As I said, the system's not utilized correctly, financial system. Bank statements, there's no bank reconciliations completed, so those are things that need to be done and put into the system. We don't have an inventory system that we can actually evaluate. We can give a valuation about how much we have on hand. When it comes to inventory, that covers all departments. Administrative, meaning copy papers, toners, whatever, those are costs. When it comes to cleaning supplies, janitorial expenses, those are things we need to itemize and have a cost. Street department, when it comes to machines, like the last meeting, fuel came up as, why did we buy so much oil or fuel, whatever it was. Those are things that we need to know what's on hand and needs to be recorded. And it's not correctly recorded on the spreadsheets because it's lumped into the admin cost tab. So it's not a good allocation to say, hey, this is how much we have for the street department or whichever department it is. I do have it. I tried, okay, first of all, this data took about over 85 hours to compile and create something that's useful on Excel. So I created expense types to group the information together. So if we say pull every fuel, I can give you a lump sum of what we did for the entire time of that period, the 3 quarters. If you want to know a specific vendor based on what was provided, I can pull by the vendor as well. Another big issue is the insurance that we pay. The policies for the different locations, different departments. I did not have that information provided to me to say to break it out by department. But it's something that has to be considered to move costs around. So you have to look at physical policies to know exactly. We need to have a maintenance schedule for all vehicles, a maintenance log for all vehicles, so that we can actually verify that total fuel with the average cost per gallon makes sense for each vehicle. Things like that can be utilized with information when it's recorded correctly. Reclassing data, that's an accounting term. I don't know if it's still used now, but in my time doing accounting, reclassing data, creating journal entries in case there's an error, those things are not being done. Those things need to be done so you have an idea exactly where things stand. I don't know if you guys want to go more into the labor area, but there's a lot of inconsistencies when it comes to part-time and full-time employees, when it comes to benefits and everything else.
What do you mean inconsistencies?
Some people who are part-time get holiday pays and other benefits that shouldn't be allowed for part-time. When it comes to, like, what is it line that's drawn to decide someone's a full-time employee? It's not consistent. A 30-hour person is getting the same benefit as a 40-hour person.
I can answer that. Our policy states that 30 hours and above is full-time. That's what the policy in there states.
But not everyone gets the same benefit.
I understand. I was just
So you
saying-
can't pick and choose who gets what. It has to be consistent. It's called fairness across.
So all
I
of our
understand.
employees who are part-time
No.
don't get the same benefits as some, is what you're
Exactly.
saying?
Exactly.
And that's,
Is that based on how many years you've been here?
It's supposed to be based on years, if there's an agreement on the certain years, but based on what I've read, there's no play, it has to be revamped. Holiday pay, people who are on medical leave or absent should not get a holiday pay. The employee handbook has to be revised. Specific holidays, I did some research and I see that Alabama has approximately 13 holidays, which is federal and state, but about 13 holidays. However, based on Alabama's rules, it depended on the business that they can establish a certain amount of days. You can't give 13 holidays. When it comes to accruals for vacation and sick, I don't know which company anybody worked for, except for this one here, people get 16 hours a month. And in my mind, 30 hours is part-time. So those things, if you want to talk about efficiencies with labor, and actually
Well, it's
production.
relative to the budget. I don't think so. Are you saying we need to look at that then?
You need
Is
to
that
look
what
at
you're saying?
everything, yes,
So on the accruals, we're given 16 hours per month.
yes, yes,
So that sounds like.
exactly.
That's exactly right.
It's supposed to be 4 hours of sick, 4 hours of vacation biweekly.
Yeah,
Which is 16 hours a month.
Which is 16, that's ridiculous. And any corporation I've worked with, each small or large, in the multiple states.
So it's
So-
usually roughly about 4 to 6 hours per pay period.
Yes, and that's what we're doing.
No,
That-
that's
that-
it.
that
It
would be
like
the 12 hours a
yeah,
month.
Yeah.
Not 16.
So there's things that have to be considered about the efficiencies when it comes to labor. When
Can
I,
you show us the holiday report date? Is that something you can? Do you have that?
I do.
Can you pull it up?
That's not
Yeah.
true.
I will, I'm sure. So,
You're not sure about the part-time employees. If they work the holiday, we are mandated to pay them for their holiday.
Yeah, if they clock in, you guys should be getting time and a half.
but they need to work the day before and the day after the holiday, not be on medical leave or anything else, or absent and getting paid for it just because.
So this,
So it's a lot, as I said, it's inconsistencies. I've asked those questions when I was putting the data, it's like something didn't jive with my math. And looking at the data, if someone's getting paid $40,000 a year, no matter what you do, you should get $40,000 a year. Like, you substitute your vacation time or your sick time if you're out of office, whatever the case may be. That's it. You shouldn't make $50,000 a year, because we're not budgeting $50,000 a year. So those are things you have to consider when it comes to labor costs. And then, on a norm, benefits costs go up each year. Medical costs goes up. So those are factors that have to be considered in the budget as well. So whoever is reviewing the policies for benefits have to find out what the next year's gonna look like. I'm not sure when it's renewed, if it's on, bigger corporations actually have the option in it around November, I think it's put in for the next calendar year. I don't know if there's a difference in how it operates over here, but those are other costs you have to consider. And if there's an employee portion of it that has to be contributed to that cost, it has to make sure it's taken out. So there's a lot of things that I saw based on reviewing data that I know it impacts, of course, your budget. And we have to think about how are we going to utilize the money more efficiently. Based on the complaints and what's been happening in the past year, the street department's a big deal. And Luke had brought up a few months ago about a tool that can help with asphalt, like when we're fixing the hole to like seal it properly. I did some research and I think that's about $2,000, $3,000, something like that. Like,
We've already got something that's sealed.
I don't know. but I'm just saying that I was just
No,
researching
we've
because I
already
don't see that. But
It was a
that's
piece of equipment that was purchased.
okay. So that's the next thing. When I was talking about vehicles, I'm trying to finish my thought. I wonder, that's part of the inventory stuff, but we need a list of every single equipment, the cost, when it was bought, whatever, and the value of it. Things have to be depreciated. Those are things that's not being considered, depreciation expense. But eventually we'll get there but you have to utilize the system to, tally everything out. So regarding the labor. So I have it right now I have my pivot tables based on overall and then by categories of, if you want to see holiday, whatever, overtime, regular time, I could just isolate that one piece for you and make it clear. It's by each department as well. Another thing that came up, I and I've worked for government, so it's just suggestions. You guys could determine when everything is reviewed and revised. When it comes to stuff like close up for weather conditions, for instance, we had that snow, unexpected. However, utilize your own vacation time or personal time for that coverage if you can't come in. It's a government. It's not. It's a government entity. It's not a private business. So we should not be paying extra things. People should save their time, bank it for in case of emergencies. What I realized through reading the handbook, they are not allowed to carry over time into the following year, except by a written letter. If you exceed or have a certain amount of hours, you have to get a written notification that you can carry over those hours. I believe it would be more beneficial if you could just say we could just accrue the numbers for the next year, so it wouldn't force them to say, okay, I'm going to lose it, might as well use it. So things like that, those are things that you need to look at.
Do you know what that number is?
Yes, if you exceed 100 hours, then if you've got 100 hours banked vacation time, and you've exceeded now, you've got say 120. Come 1 January, if you haven't used those 20 hours, it's a use or lose.
So there's something in our companies we call ceiling hours. So for instance, I have 200 ceiling hours for general leave. If I exceed that, if my pool hours exceed that 200 ceiling, I will lose whatever is there.
That's what we're doing.
So the way it was explained to me and what they believe, and Eric could correct me if I'm wrong, because I've asked questions about it. Why are everybody using their sick and vacation time as soon as they have it, they're using it. There's no incentive to actually work. And if we're saying 30 hours is full time, using 16 hours within a month, how are you going to be efficient with work, getting the job done? The other thing is too, they're getting paid for their lunch hours. So if someone's working 6 hours and they're taking half an hour lunch, we're paying them 6 hours and taking a half an hour and going out, doing whatever they want to do. So if that's something else to consider.
So they're not punching in and punching out.
I didn't see all of that. I wasn't privileged to that information. So
Okay, I can address what she's talking about. I live next door to the post office, and I pick up my lunch and smoke a cigarette on my porch because you're not supposed to smoke on government property, correct? I smoke a cigarette on my porch, and I pick up my lunch, and I come back to the office. That's what she's talking about. And I eat my lunch at my desk while I work.
But there's still.
I wasn't just talking about you, Gracie. I'm talking to everybody in general.
Most of them are eating right there in the maintenance shop, his desk, her desk.
But if they're entitled to their lunch, they should take their lunch and just work the extra half an hour, whatever. So it's 3:30, if it's 4:30, whatever to 5. So those are things that needs to be considered with efficiencies for work. So
on right there where you are,
mhm.
the sick on the laborer there. So is that in the fiscal year?
Yes,
So
I could click on it and show you who, if you wanted to see, because I have it listed out by 1, 2, 3 or whatever.
oh no, I don't.
But this is the street department.
I just wanted to see if that person took laborer 1 took what $30,000 worth of sick time
Yeah,
in the 12-month period.
yeah. In the 9 months period. This is based on 9 months, 3
9
quarters.
months is
Yes.
$3,000.
She only had the first 3 quarters.
And this is data provided to me from the summary report. So if the data is put in the system incorrectly, I'm going off of that report. I did not have access to the physical data to see everything with the actual stubs. It's just a report that says, for instance, if it's Justin with a council $100, whatever, that's it. And what type of categorization is for the out labor.
So that same laborer
Mm-hmm.
has $3,500 worth of overtime in 9 months.
That's my point. Now, if people are getting paid 2-week schedule, if you work a full week, 40 hours, you work the second week because it's a bi-weekly payroll, whatever the case may be, and you're sick, whatever day, I say 1 day, 8 hours. The next 4 days, you should, if you worked 36 hours, you shouldn't get overtime on it. So it's all depends on how it's reviewed and approved, how it's entered into the system. There's a lot of things when it comes to efficiencies on labor that needs to be addressed. In my opinion, if I'm running this business, no way this would happen, because One is a fairness across the board. Nobody's going to get special favor. If you're going to have anything, 35 hours is full-time or above. Reach maximum 40, because 40 is normal, 40 hours general over in the US. Anything over 40, then it's considered overtime. That's if you agree to that rule. If your salary, 40 hours, 40,000 flat, that's all you're going to get. Even if you take a sick time, vacation, whatever, 40,000, that's it. You're not going to make overtime on that because of whatever it is. So you have to consider salary for certain people. You have to consider the accrual factors when it comes to sick and vacation and all these other things. You have to consider the fringe benefits, or the cost of medical and dental and all these other things, the impact of if are they going to contribute to it or not. But these are all, that's just labor. And also, are you getting the job done? Where that's evaluations come in and all these other factors. When the questions were brought up about, are you going to give merit, or how are you going to retain people and all these other things? There's a cost of living adjustment, federal standard 2.5 or whatever the case may be. You do evaluations and you can set a standard of a merit system, okay, 1%, 2%, but you can't, we're not a big town, we don't have the funds like that to take advantage of stuff like that. You can have a bucket to say for merit, say 5,000 the most across the board. And depending on the department, because other companies work this way, you can figure out a factor that depending on the quality of work and all those other things, but evaluations must be done.
So also on that, laborer one in 9 months has made $19,000 with versus in comparison to their overtime
Yes.
and sick is 7,000.
Yes, and I have inception to date numbers. I have the estimated. When I did the estimate for the fourth quarter, which is on the spreadsheet, I didn't put it there because I actually know at least the first 9 months based on the data I had in hand. I didn't have the last quarter to say make accruals or adjustments, anything estimates, good estimates. I said, okay, fine. You accrue 16 hours a month, so then put 16 hours at least if they're gonna take it, because that seems to be the norm for it. They don't really keep anything in their banks, except for Eric, I think. I kept that in place. I said, okay, 40 hours work out, 40 hours a week, so it's 160 hours a month. I just go off on an average. I did a straight line about it, so I could get inception to date on to know what the fourth quarter estimate would be for expenses. When it came to operational expenses, what I did was I took the 9 months, divided by 9, and then the 3 months and say, okay, this is the estimate for it. The two identifiers that I showed was the polling and the taxes. I know I don't have any numbers at all, but they budgeted $48,000 for that and $30,000 for the polling definitely. So I added that as a full amount since I didn't know what was actually spent. But when it comes to the spreadsheets you guys have on your hands, month to month is needed to say if you guys question what's going on. When it comes, I call the bank, I call a tab bank rec. It's not really a bank rec, because a real bank rec means you'll know exactly what's outstanding, if outstanding checks or anything from the general funds. Bank reconciliations are not being done. So I don't know how soon, well, I do know how soon you guys have to approve a next proposed budget for next year. Next month, right?
Actually, the town that decides doesn't have to approve the budget at all.
I thought the council has to approve the budget.
It is highly recommended, so we can work on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's things that can be moved around. There's things to be allocated. There's other things to review and revise and need to be updated. I would not suggest giving people 13 days holidays a year. That's ridiculous.
I mean,
So-
just stopping right there, seeing that labor, number one, we got a laborer that's worked for 9 months. He or she has made $19,000, and we paid him for free $7,000 in sick and vacation time. I mean, that makes 0 sense.
Hold on a second. Go ahead, Eric.
You need to remember too, we have lack of employees for the police force, so those police.
This is not police we're looking at.
They're working extra hours.
No, which is fine. And I could justify the police one because I did the research on it. This is not police we're looking at. This is street we're looking at.
Chief manages his own budget. So I feel like he's got that under control unless that were to become a problem, but from where I stand right now,
So that's
I'm
an,
not trying to be funny, but when y'all quit, I'm not applying for your jobs.
so
Like
the,
that's-
so the other thing is, when it comes to the police department, I didn't show them the police department yet. But if you, what I did compile was, okay, fine, 17 hours, 17,000 was overtime amount. If you want to consider getting a part-time person to eliminate that 17,000, that's fine, because the budget was 17,000 for a part-timer.
And,
You,
and just for myself too, during this election time, I'm mandated to work from 8 to 5. In case anyone comes in, I'm there for them. Just like the voting day, I'm mandated to work from 7 to 7 that day. So that's gonna be extra overtime.
And I'm not questioning the overtime. I mean, the overtime is fine when it's justifiable. But looking at this labor in the street department, no other department, we have paid, if this is accurate, $7,000 as when.
I know who you're talking about, and I know what's going on.
so,
There's no names associated here. This is just data that they're looking at.
So we've gone
Okay,
over
so-
the maintenance department. What's
So-
next?
what I'm trying to say is factors that need to be considered when it comes to efficiencies, when it comes to the budget for the next year, reallocating funds where it's needed for things that's a big item in the street. Looking for, I would say, like the street department, I think you have about 145,000 currently on the budget based on your budget with Eric. And there's like $59,000 that's available based on that budget, not the council budget, okay? The budget that I saw when I was working on it. I would say leave that alone because you could utilize it to get equipment to help with the culverts and do the other maintenance work that's needed for the town.
That money can't be used for that,
Why not?
because we have specific money identified.
We're wasting money on other things, but anyway, that's just my opinion. You guys can
That's fine.
figure it out. When it comes to, okay, going back to the inventory list. I don't know, I know that people, you guys spray for mosquitoes and stuff?
They do.
Okay, so when I cost things for myself, it's about between $75 to $120 a gallon for mosquito spray. I don't know how you guys buy it, in bulk or whatever. But if you're buying those things on hand and it's being done all the time, those are stuff that's big item inventory in my mind that should be recorded and valued and added to as inventory costs. There's a lot of items that needs to be listed out.
Comes in
Okay.
your own size.
Well, that'd be beneficial if we ever want to have like a tornado or anything just for insurance claims and things like that.
But it's part of, that's an accounting practice. You have to have those numbers all recorded.
Okay,
So what needs to be done is everyone, each department needs to itemize everything out. When you make an order for office supplies, you need a detailed invoice. So if you order 4 boxes of copy paper, you know exactly what size, what it is, what date you ordered, how much it costs, and when you replenish your stock. So and you don't wait for the last minute to make orders. You have to consider, you don't run out for individual little pieces. That's a waste of time and money and efficiency. I was here one day that I was actually gathering data, and I remember when the chief came by and said, "Hey, we need a battery for the door." And I thought that was funny, and Gracie picked up and ran outside to get it. I'm like, a battery for a door because of the bell is something could have waited and added for other things too. I'm talking about efficiencies for things I physically saw myself being here. When it comes to, well, efficiencies, I'll just leave it there. There's a lot of things that need to be done, needs to be addressed, recorded correctly, revised, and standard operating procedures need to be put in place for all departments. Evaluations must be done in order for anyone to consider merit. As I said, this is a government business. This is not a private business. You can't just give money away. You have to account for everything. And I don't know if it's correct or not, but I saw that based on the data from the Excel spreadsheet, we paid the auditors about $6,500 a couple months ago.
The auditor.
the auditor.
Yeah.
I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I'm sorry, auditors. A couple months ago, but I don't know if they did it in fiscal audit because I think the last audit was done was 2021.
No, the 2023 is done and we're waiting for its release.
2023 is done, it's still waiting for the release.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
So that 65 went to the 2023 audit?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow.
I ain't arguing that point.
Actually, the 2023 audit cost I believe if you guys remember, it was like 10,000, wasn't it, Todd?
No, we were getting a discount of $6,000 because when Gracie's mom was here, she was doing a fantastic job at it. But now that she's gone, they've gone up to the regular price of $20,000 for an audit. That's the regular price.
Because things are not recorded correctly in a system. Alright,
Let me
technology,
put it here, the audit has been, the words from the auditor is that there are no problems with the audit. They're looking for the approval system through their company. So that's what we're waiting on, and I've talked to them about 3 weeks ago. So if you would move on, please. What's next?
well, based on, okay, the data that you guys have, what I have on this side here is what Eric and the mayor will work on. Let me unhide this. This is what you have in front of you with the budget part, and it could be revised with the mayor and everything else.
They don't have that in front of them.
Oh, they don't have, you guys don't have that?
Not tonight.
Okay.
That's the, what do you call it, the general account?
This is just admin, just the
But they
admin.
don't have that tonight. That's the basic general account.
Well, you know what? You guys haven't had that information. If you want me to explain it, just let me know. I can do it because I think my time is up.
Sherry, thank you for all your hard work. This is impressive and, I think it says a lot about your time and effort you put into it.
It's something that everybody needs to be aware of in order to keep people. It's about regarding transparency and being honest about stuff and making sure there's a fairness about everything. I believe. I don't know how to
Do
put
you
this.
feel comfortable sharing that data with the council so we could research it a little bit
Oh,
better
definitely.
and see it
Oh,
a little bit
absolutely.
clearer, and that way we're a little bit more informed
Absolutely.
leading up to the budget? I feel like that's going to be a really big tool for us moving forward.
100%. I can give it to you guys. I will email it. I'll send it to Alan and have him distribute it to everybody.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
That's it. I'll move my stuff.
As we go back down through, what we've got is, and you should have in front of you a couple of items. After reviewing the senior center budget today, and some of the information that I talked with Natasha, I'm just not sure of the numbers myself. So I'm gonna table that if there are no questions. We have the general account and then the senior to be discussed on the working meeting in September. In front of, again, if there's no questions in front of you, are the,
I think when it goes to the income,
so he wants to discuss the income page.
no, the income.
The income page.
is complete.
Okay, go ahead.
The total income for the fiscal year did come out to $936,497.90, and that is up from the previous year. We did a little bit more. Of course, I'm taking the average for August and September because we're not up yet. So I just took the average of the 10 months and plugged it in.
So the first two pages here,
And
that
that
he's
could
looking at
be,
is for
that could be
income.
more, and it could be a little bit less, depending on, what the two things bring in. And I'm hoping, we'll get it across that million threshold.
So this is income only.
That's income only. And it's on the second page, all the way to the bottom on the very end.
And are you sure what you're looking at for the senior citizen? I know we kind of gone from that. I just want to make sure I have what you have.
He brought this one out. He may not have brought it out. I told him, you can look at it. If there's some numbers that I don't agree with, we just need to talk and confirm with Natasha. Shouldn't be any problem. I just want to discuss them with you. would like to say though that as of 1 August, in the one sheet, I think did we publish that, the amount of the money in the accounts? Our general fund is at $1.2 million for the year, and we remain at $1.2 million.
For 9 months.
And for 9 months, we have the numbers he has shown here on the income, but the general fund is basically remained the same.
Which is not necessarily a good thing, but,
Well,
the goal is to grow it.
grow it, yeah.
But yeah,
We just have a lot of expenses, as always.
The other two items, and we can go down through this line by line if you wish. When I reviewed the street department budget, we added in the possibility of hiring a labor foreman. And the numbers that I came up with for these various departments, I mean, I can answer questions on them. This is my estimate. But for last year, we budgeted $145,760 with a number of changes because there's certain items. Eric and I have looked at items that need to be under the general fund and not under the street department, the police department, or the senior center, because the general fund basically pays those bills. If you add up what I have here, you have 141,000. I came up with a number of about 143,000. We're trying to cut that budget by doing a couple things by almost $2,000. Do you have any questions on
What are a couple things?
the? You go back over. On Bobby Eubanks on tree removal, we took that out. That was a $6,500 emergency, and that money can come out of the 7-cent fuel tax. That doesn't come out of the street department. Below we have Dowling Tractor at 20,000, but we also had H&H and JR's Lawn Shop. If we reduce those numbers to approximately what we've spent, we can cut those back to almost 15. What am I looking at? 15, almost $17,000 instead of 22.
What have you brought in and factored in if this laborer one foreman, we have no fuel for labor one foreman in here projected period?
What are you saying? No.
What am I saying is?
Up here at the first line, it says labor foreman, which is at the pay scale of $18 for 40 hours was $37.40 a year. So that was put into those numbers.
That's understandable, but down you have human credit, that's fuel, right?
Yes.
So you're only planning to pay for fuel for 2 of the staff, and the other one is going.
No, that's basically the vehicles. There's 2 credit cards we have.
It's only Marty and Chris.
But if you're going to hire somebody, you got fuel for 2 people. If we're going to hire and have 3 total, where's the fuel coming from for the 3rd person?
We won't have any more vehicles.
But there's
We can
still,
get a 3rd credit card, but we won't have any more vehicles.
so they're just going to pay us credit cards around? Is the credit card assigned to each person? They pay us some credit cards
Well, they're
around?
assigned, yeah, Marty has one for 2 trucks and Chris has one for the other one.
Maybe I'm not explaining that correctly, but nevertheless,
Okay.
what,
Maybe,
we're gonna bring in a foreman making that amount more than the other laborers?
yeah, labor foreman would make more than the laborers. We've contacted and looked at job descriptions from 2 other communities.
So you want the foreman to have his own credit card so he
I mean,
I mean, this is actually approved.
why wouldn't it be assigned to a vehicle like they are with like aircraft? You know what I mean? Like truck 2 has its car that is assigned to
you
it.
can look at that. That's
Anyway.
Well, right now, Chris has got a credit card for the vehicle he drives, and Marty has a credit card for the 3 vehicles that he drives.
So I guess my question on this is, what are we getting? for this extra, say, what's your projected end state? Once we hire this foreman, what do the citizens get as far as an improvement?
Well, I'm hoping on a little bit more of a continuity in the jobs.
I'm hoping the streets look better. You know what I mean? There's so many things that aren't getting done. We hire this third person, that's, to me, that's what the intent needs to be.
Yeah.
They have.
Still making improvements for service in the street.
Supervisor needs to provide the street department report to us.
Yeah.
What's not happening right now?
How long have these guys been with us?
How long have they been with us?
I don't know about Marty, but I think Chris has been here for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, they were here,
Marty,
I think, when you
Mark.
first came on.
Marty was here before I was.
So the 3% increase is included in,
Yes.
Doesn't have to be built.
This is the proposal.
so is it 3% or the 50 cent? What-
I think 3% comes out to 50 cents.
3% can't come out to 50 cent for every single person because they make a different
No,
amount.
It varies very closely. But that's a proposal.
Yeah,
If
I
you
love
don't
the
wish to do
idea
it-
of having a supervisor. It's just my opinion, food for thought. I think we spend a lot of money in operational expenses for not a lot of, what do you call it?
Return on
Bang for your
investment.
buck,
Return on
walk
investment.
down streets and whatnot. And I understand we don't have to know what they do, but
Yeah, we
I
do.
mean,
We
this
do.
is a,
We do need to know what they do.
by the law, you know, he doesn't have to tell us, and we can't tell them what to do, I get that, but, I mean, if I pay for a Happy Meal at McDonald's, I'm leaving with a Happy Meal, and this is not, I can't justify a
Then I need-
raise.
What I need is the council to determine what you feel are the numbers you want us to put in there.
It's more of
I mean,
looking
this-
at the results, expectations, and expecting that stuff to get done.
Okay,
I mean, your
It's kind of the
councilman
same with
should be
Gracie, we
cleaning out street corners.
have a whole list of responsibilities from her, and we consider her raise.
this is, what you have in here on the street department was mine and Eric's estimate on what the budget could be at 141 to 143,000. If the council wishes to adjust those numbers, that's the council's decision.
The other question with this too, if we do get this third person, like the cleanup in town, would it incur an additional mower? You know what I mean, stuff like that.
We're considering an additional more, and that money again can come out of the 7-cent tax fund if you guys approve it.
If
So
you
it
got
would
a-
not affect the budget.
If you got a third person though, everything goes up. Repairs, maintenance, everything goes up. So is any of that factored in here? So One Shot Auto, I could buy a guarantee we pay more than $7,000 to One Shot. I could almost put money on that. And if we have a third person, what is that number going to go to for the budget? So we need to see all of that before we can approve a budget, which goes back to my point. Yes, we are entitled to know exactly what they're got. But we can't create a budget for the street department because number one, I don't have a clue what the street department does on a daily basis. So until we get that, this is the blind leading the blind right now. We're throwing hit the wall to see what sticks.
I'd like to piggyback off what Councilman Flowers said. I see these guys driving around in pickup trucks all the time, just driving around. Burning gas and doing God knows what. There's not a reason in the world, just like every other department that works for this town, there's not a reason in the world why we cannot get a report from them at every council meeting as to what they're doing every month. The fact that we're not getting it just makes it that much more frustrating. When you see these guys driving around in a truck doing absolutely nothing other than burning gas. I see it every freaking day. And it's not acceptable. It's mediocrity. And the town needs to stop settling for mediocrity. There's no excuse for it. None. None whatsoever.
It's been a big issue for the citizens too, so that's the bottom line also.
If you keep settling for mediocrity, that's all you're ever going to have. And this town needs to stop accepting that as its standard, because the residents and the citizens here deserve better than that.
And table the, until numbers are determined. The council needs to do some homework and determine what numbers you wish to put in there. Again, this was our estimate with the addition of the foreman and the 3% raise across the board for the employees.
Can we get a comparison of what the projected
We
was
need a job
that we
description.
passed last year
What's the foreman going to do?
compared to?
I've got, gonna come by, I'll get you a job
I
description.
would love for you to present it at the next meeting. Give us a job description of what this foreman's going to do.
Okay. I say again, Todd?
Can we get there for a while? You were giving us a budget that's laid out to where we did like what we had approved versus where we were at. Are we still doing that?
Yeah.
Can we get that and compare what next year's budget is going to be and compare it to what we approved for this year? That'd be helpful. Thanks.
I can tell you,
I just didn't have enough time to put everything together today, because
we're getting crunched
we
with
got a new
information.
garbage system, we had to go all the different garbage, credit card machines don't work,
Here's what last year's budget was.
things to be offered.
Yeah, speaking of which, I got a text today on something. I've got two texts for reference the garbage bill, so I don't know what's up there.
So
System.
they were supposed to wait until I pulled my reoccurring payments to update the system. Now it's supposed to be where you can see online and InstaPay payments in real time instead of having to wait 24 to 48 hours to see them in the system. They jumped the gun a little bit and did it before I got here on the 14th. So it wiped out all the credit card information that was saved. That's why that text message got pushed out. And they have also adjusted everyone who was on a reoccurring credit card payments list. They've adjusted their accounts, so there will be no late fee for them this month.
Everyone was included on actual public credit card reoccurring.
We're talking about how many people?
135 reoccurring credit card transactions.
Yeah. So the next one would be the police department budget. You probably have the same questions. We've gone to the second page. Budget for the budget for last year was at $295,795. Again, a couple of the items have been pulled to go under the general funding because the insurance is not paid by the police department, it's paid by the town. Those type of things. With the addition, we had talked about the possibility of another car in the $30,000 range. With those type of estimates, we're coming back up with a total of approximately $272,000. I said 275 up to the 295 is what we had last year. And this is going to be an increase to the general fund, general budget. But none of our items full options, they don't actually pay those.
Yeah, so this is where it's important that we consider in the budget that we have to be growing that. You know what I mean? There has to be some left over. Otherwise, there'll be a continuous draining of the general fund.
Did we not just get 2 cars for them? No. A year ago?
It's one car, correct, Chief? One car.
At least it's one with a new engine, right?
Twice.
Twice. Either way, it should be good to go.
The engine was put in, it died, and put in again.
I remember that.
Is it under warranty?
Yes. Sweet, yep.
So the officer number 4, like last year, did we budget for part-time with 4 officers, or are we just adding one more since it says new, or is that just we're looking to hire one?
No, we're looking, there's already one in the pipeline, part-time. It'll be the chief part-time, 2 full-time, 4 part-times.
That gives us 24-hour coverage.
I think we already introduced that gentleman in one of our meetings. Did we not?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
What did you say the police department budget was last year?
Last year, the budget was at 295, 795.
That's not, that doesn't match what I'm looking
Hey,
at. I got the proposal
Yes.
that Councilman Askins put together last year and it has the actual expense for fiscal year 24 of the police department. And it says 243, 288. That's a lot less than that number that you're throwing.
Well, the number I'm throwing out is what was approved by the council last year. 295, 795.
And according to proposal 1 on here, which is the one that we approved, it's 240, 656.
And that was a working document. When you came to vote, 295, 795.
I mean,
That's what we've been working with.
yeah, but how could that be different?
Because I think the numbers were adjusted as we went line by line. That was your estimate,
Right.
and we went line by line, we made adjustments, but we went down the budget.
What are the actuals right now?
Actuals and
Where are we at on the actual?
I'm looking at approximately 118,000
Left,
for 3 months, yes.
118,000
We've been spending,
for 9 months?
Now you're saying left.
Oh,
left,
That sounds like
Okay.
left.
That's a lot of money just left.
Yes, because we haven't had officers working all year.
But with overtime and all that.
It hasn't been that bad.
$118,000 for 90 days?
It hasn't been that bad. We're still,
We used to have 3 full-timers. And we used to have 4.
Either we were bad off on the budget, I mean bad off.
I think circumstances changing through the year between officers we've lost and not have been able to replace. So those complete payrolls for almost 8 months was not expended. And that happened in a couple places. Correct, Chief?
We did some bad math. We shouldn't, I mean, if we budgeted for 240, we shouldn't have $118,000 left, or 90 days left in the fiscal year.
240, 656 was the original number.
Which that's a good thing. Chief did some great things in 9 months, but
I'll say this once more, that was the original cost. The council went down line by line, and the final number was 295, 795. So that number is incorrect.
All I know is that was the proposal that was passed on October 7th.
No, that
And
was
yes, it was. I looked at the meeting minutes last night.
Because we did vote on one or the other.
And then you questioned the council again on October 21st in the work session, wanting to verify which proposal it was. And Councilman Askins said in the minutes, which I read last night, we approved proposal 1 and there were no questions from the council. It's in the minutes. I read it last night.
And then after you went down line by line, there was a change to that. And that's what was voted on.
And that should be in the minutes. If it was voted on, it should be in the minutes.
Yeah, I didn't go past beyond this being passed. I'd have to dig in further and see.
So if there are any questions on the police department, or do you have questions on the numbers, again,
And don't forget office, we lost officer number one.
long time. Again, it's our estimate, our proposal, yes,
Okay.
our proposal putting in front of the council. The numbers that you wish to place on the budget, council decision.
And this is 24-hour coverage?
Yes.
Okay, with a
Correct.
contingency?
Next couple of days is not covered.
So it's not 20.
Well, we're short one person right there.
No, I'm talking about for the proposed.
For the
Next year.
proposal, when we get the new person,
Yes,
yeah,
So we need 336 hours per week, 672 hours to cover for a 2-week pay period.
I see that again.
It's 336 hours, 24.
Don't forget, we lost one. One part-timer is gone. So that's gonna be overtime. If they're overtime.
And with us being short, that means that somebody's working overtime. Is that right, Chief?
or we don't have coverage from midnight to 6 in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at the statistics and see the data of when it's most valuable versus least valuable.
Do you have the actuals on? I mean, I just can't believe that we got $118,000 left in the budget for 90 days left.
Lost Craig.
We lost Craig, and who else? Ethan
We lost Craig, but
and Craig.
Greg's still here.
No, Craig
Right, correct, that's correct.
we lost Jake Holloway.
and Mr. Holloway.
And Jay Holloway, yes.
Chief, go out and buy your 3 beer because you got $118,000 left.
You want, that ain't nothing money.
We got something else we're looking at. We don't have the information. Somebody brought up a leasing program, and we just got information on that in the last 2 days. We're gonna see what a leasing program would do.
So, Mayor, do you have an approximate time frame when you say we went line by line and upped the budget by almost $56,000? Because I sure don't
Last
remember.
year,
That's kind of big.
we spent 3 hours in here one night going over the whole budget.
Was it in November,
No,
October?
probably September or maybe October, I don't know. We were in here for almost 3 hours, went over every item, line by line.
Remember that?
'Cause
Do you
I'm
remember
sure,
that?
I don't remember raising the budget by $50-something thousand. I'm gonna damn sure look it up.
Look it up. And if there any other questions on those numbers, we'll put them in front of you again. But I'd like any changes that the council thinks needs to be made to those proposals. Oops, before we go ahead and vote on it. Probably the end of September, 1st of October, which is our plan right now. Any other questions on the police budget?
Administration one, Chief?
No, we don't have the administration one yet. We're working that one diligently. I wanted to bring that up in September. Instead of having a marathon 3-hour meeting, I was hoping to do these 3 and then the general fund by itself in September.
Las Vegas State is on.
So Eric, we're projecting next year to be 936, 5 roughly. Is what we can expect the town to make on income.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any projected total, what do we call it, debt
Expenditures.
expenditures? Yeah, thank you.
I'm just curious, what's driving our budget? I mean, what tax revenue? What? I What's driving the overall?
What are we getting in? What are we receiving?
Yeah, what's driving it? What's the driving force of the budget?
From a receivable standpoint.
Yeah.
Okay.
No way.
Alcohol taxes, business license, computer use, general taxes, sales taxes, sellers taxes. The rebuild Alabama 10 cent, 6 cent, 4 cent, we receive those monthly. The Brockton local taxes. I mean, you can read the list of where we get deposits from.
Everything on the website here, that's all the money that comes into the town.
Sales tax.
United States Treasury payroll liabilities, $2,700. Excise tax from the state, $14,000. Capital improvement for roads and bridges, for one of our accounts, almost $16,000. Any other questions or comments? We'll move on. Yes, no, or indifferent?
Nothing else.
Council comments, starting with Councilman Rodriguez. Anything further?
Nope, nothing more than what I already said.
Okay. Councilman Flowers.
Yes, I would like to see us, I don't know if this has to be passed through a resolution or whatever, but I would like to see us at least have some conversation on a state retirement. I know that might not be something that we can, actually buy into or apply for, but I just would like to have a more in-depth conversation
Okay.
and see how we can do that. Just from a retention standpoint and recruitment standpoint. And then our retainer funds, we had a concerned citizen of the retainer funds. You gonna cover that?
I don't, but we've had contact with the contractor. Have we got a return on that yet? We contacted who?
It wasn't Driscoll, Harrison Earth Movers.
Harrison Earth Movers.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Very good.
we just
He
don't
said he-
have, we don't have an estimate back from him yet, but we did contact him.
He said he was gonna get out there and handle it, like he did last time and then bill us.
Okay, good. Thank you so much.
I don't think it's happened yet.
I don't think it has either.
We'll make another call to them.
In conjunction with moving forward on the budget, I would like to make a request that our policy and procedures and the employee handbook be brought to the forefront for review as well. And any new jobs proposed, if we can have job descriptions. Might not be a bad idea to even bring all of them. I think Ms. Cedar Hall brought some concerns out that we really need to address. Those from the part-time holiday pays and, if they need full-time, whatever the case may be, just if we can
Okay.
look at that and review it.
We'll get you copies of that.
And then I made my comment about Cal Franklin and Meridian. I did speak with them today. Did not say like a priority to them.
No, I'm gonna echo that one. I've had 4 calls into them today. I didn't get an answer.
So that's all I got. Thank you.
Does the town have any involvement with Night of the Gamecock?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything that needs to be done? No? Okay.
I've been invited to be at it. But basically, like, if you saw it last year when it was downtown, they asked me to do an introduction. This year, they're just gonna name off a number of people who are present on the field. And I'm gonna be there.
Very cool. That there, is that accurate?
Yes.
Most up to date?
but it's accurate.
How would I go about getting addresses for residents in my district? Does that make sense what I'm
You
saying?
gotta go to the Secretary of State website, plug in their address, and it'll tell you what district they're in the town.
Oh, wait, I meant like in general information for me to know who's in my district.
You
Does that
go,
make sense?
you go right down. I'll get it to you. I had to do it when I was running, and they'll give you a list of everybody that's registered in your district.
Yeah, the
Just
board of
feel like I'm
registrar.
doing a disservice
Yeah, I think
not
so.
knowing
Yeah.
who's-
And
Yeah, now it will be completely, like, I was amazed at how inaccurate it was.
I'm sure that like who's actually still here and who's
Yeah.
not, but
Like, it was probably 2/3 almost inaccurate.
Even with our voter list, it's the same way. Very inaccurate.
Yeah, it's,
now where, Enterprise,
no, here,
is that Coffee County?
yeah, down to, what's it, the registers?
The board of registrars.
Board of Registers in Coffee County?
Alan, this is more of a question for you, since you're the Christmas parade guy. We might should, well, I say we, you know I love film. But should that go on the website at some point for
Oh, yeah,
local votes to
sure.
register
Definitely.
and all that kind of stuff?
Have to come up with
And
that.
I'd like to do
Actually,
something for the council this year.
I know Barbara already has a registration form, but I don't see why we can't get that scanned and have it put on the website.
And that might be easier for you. I just wanna
Did we
write
use
on-
that last year, I think?
No,
We did not?
no, I think we did. But
Yeah, I
Barbara,
wanna ride on 5K trails horse.
I do have one last minute question that just popped into my head.
Scale, big one.
Election training for the people that are going to
Wednesday
be
morning.
using the ballot.
Wednesday morning.
And that's all I have.
Did the town receive anything back from Mr. Walker down in Tallahassee about the ordinances?
No, not that I'm aware of.
I tried to attempt today, left a message, I didn't hear back from him, so I'll recontact him to see where they're at. It's my understanding they're getting it together and gonna send it to the town.
If it's coming to my email, I have not received it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, like I said, I wasn't able to get in touch with him today. Let's see, and I think that's all I have.
Left, right, and above. Comments from the citizens. If you have a comment, please stand and say your name. Yes, sir.
Hey, I just wonder if it's still a service that we can receive, but with the school system, we've got a bunch of tree limbs that are hitting top of the school buses.
They're working on it tomorrow.
Okay, just wanted to see where we were standing on that thing.
And if they don't, I want to know about it.
Yes, sir.
We've had things scheduled. We didn't get your call till late Thursday.
Okay.
So I talked to them this morning or this afternoon. If they don't get it, I want to know about it
Yes, sir.
because we'll have them out there. But yes,
I just want to check on it. Thank you.
anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Faye Richardson, when are we gonna get the cars out of the road that goes to the elementary school so we can turn our road to go home?
Good question. And if you need to write a letter to the Department of Transportation.
No, all y'all do is we talk to the state. They say it's the Board of Education. The Board of Education says it's the town of New Brockton.
Well, it's not the town of New Brockton because we can't make a turn lane. Chief?
But somebody's gonna do something, we're fixing to get a class action lawsuit because somebody is gonna get seriously injured or killed there.
That might be the best way to get something done. How many times has this already been looked at, Chief?
Hundreds of times, Mayor.
Yeah.
I have talked with the state and begged the state.
But
And they
it's,
said,
I'm tired of it.
excuse me. We have talked with the state and the state puts back on the school. If the school give up some property, then they would do something. But until the school gives the property or they buy a piece of right of way, they're not gonna do anything.
I think there's also been a right-of-way question about one house right along there, correct?
Right, where the chain link fence is, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Has anything been proposed to the school board about this yet? Has anything been
yeah.
proposed to the school board yet?
Oh, yeah. The Coffee County School Board is well aware of the problem.
But we have to ride every driver down the highway to get to our house.
Ma'am?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
James Wright, on your question about the retirement, you know, you had to put, it's a little bit of process to do the state retirement. But city could do probably a mutual fund with an investment company, and employees put into that. I know that's how my work does it.
You can fill out for state retirement, you just got to figure out where's the longest running employee and go back and back pay them all the way to the time they started.
Cause
Right now might be a good time to do it because I think Marty's probably the longest running one, and Chief might be. You wouldn't want to keep it going too many years, That's what we had to do. We had to still back pay I think it was like 3 years or something because for us.
I worked for the county for 16 years and put in a pile of money in it, and I've been gone from the county for 20 years and hadn't touched it, and I got a pile of money waiting for my wife, for me to die for my wife.
I think that would be a great option. In that or IRA or 403, 401, anything.
And that's a recruitment to me, like insurance.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
Anything else from the citizens? Going on to mayor's comments. I did talk to Mr. Patel again today. They are going to be moving dirt hopefully next week. He has, I know he says it every month, but his loans have been approved. I got a call from the Southeast Alabama Regional Economic people again today. His loans ran into a problem. The ADECA money, I have to sign additional paperwork. But he says because that has gone through, they should start either bringing equipment in this week or start moving and clearing that lot out next week.
Who has to sign an additional paperwork?
I do.
What kind of paperwork?
The ADECA grant paperwork. You don't want me to sign this for the town? We have a good working relationship with not only ADECA, the regional development people, and Mr. Patel.
I think you need to seek counsel from the attorney before you sign anything, but that's just my personal opinion. But
We can do that, but I'll have him come in.
it's like Councilman Askin says, every week is the same response. Like, we're moving dirt this week, moving dirt that.
I understand. I can't say what problems he had with trying to find a lawyer to close on his loans.
Was this just some type of timeline extension or something?
Yes. He told me there were only 2 lawyers in either Lower Alabama or this part of Alabama that could close on this loan, and he had to make sure that schedule was available. I was going down the road the other day, and there were Department of Transportation gentlemen at the 84 Bird Mill 122 intersection. They informed me that permits had been approved for the Mayberry and Roberts area, so that lighting seems to be on track, and they were looking at the permit approval for the lights near the Bird Mill Road intersection with 84. I don't know if you've heard any other information, because I know you were in contact with them a lot.
They said they were waiting on it was approved and what?
I heard the 2 permits for the intersection by Roberts and Mayberry have been approved. And they were looking at the feasibility of approving the permit for 84 122 and Bird Mill Road. So they were doing a site survey.
For lighting?
Yes.
It's been done. The only thing that we were waiting on is it's gonna cost $100,000 for the buy down for the actual equipment. So
I haven't heard anything on that. But they were doing a site survey for this other set of lights. that's been requested.
How do we go about changing speed limits?
Where?
Right there, because they changed the slip speed limit down there, where I come out on my road to 55. Where it was bumped down for traffic when they were doing all that road work. It's like, how nice would it be if they just stayed 55 right there and that's it? No?
No, it's gonna go back to 65 when the state determines. And actually, the other thing I was told is, and I don't know why it hasn't happened, when they finished all the painting,
It's been
no, it's not all 65 yet.
It's all back to 65.
No, there's 55 right there in town. No, it's not. Chief, it's 55 in some rates.
It's all 65. They just forgot to remove the signs.
Well, the signs are still there.
It's 65.
Sorry.
The signs are still there. We'll call DOT and see if they can get the signs changed back. There was a question on the water drainage on Fitzsimmons. I did approach the county engineer again, who had at the time, last year sometime? We had DOT and the county out there. If the county or if the town wishes us to go forward with that project, somewhere between $40,000 and $55,000 to change the drainage on that road. The county bills us for equipment at $49.62 a day. So that comes out just less than $40,000 on an expected 8-day project because they only work Monday through Thursday. And he thinks that the material to put in there to do that repair would probably run maybe $10,000 more.
Now, couldn't we apply for a Rebuild Alabama grant for that?
No.
Now, when you say, what is he proposing? Why don't they just start with the most reasonable thing, is clean out the ditch?
You were there when we discussed it.
I know, and that's what I'm saying, that's what, it's like it falls on deaf ears, start with the.
If we did the ditch, we'd be able to pay it for some of the 7-cent tax money. If they had
And
the
it wouldn't be
equipment.
$40,000 to, you at least, you'd see, that would have to have some effect, because water flows downhill. And you can see even those tiles on the other side of that street from that house are pretty full. And then it could travel all the way downhill, and there's a large culvert down at the lowest point of that road that transitions underneath the road and behind everybody's property. I mean, would it keep all the water from my property? No, but it would sure reduce it.
Again,
I just don't know why we can't just start with cleaning out the ditch.
I can verify the ditch on the road or across the street from the property that you're talking about. Them ditches used to be at least waist high. And there's nothing there now. So, I mean, I agree with Councilman Aston, just start cleaning the
That
ditches
type
on
of
the
a
side of the road.
project, they could do easy with the equipment that they do have.
But we mentioned that to the engineer, it's like he doesn't want to hear anything you have to say, so I don't know what you have to do to,
I can
or we do it with, is that, well, I mean, we have a backhoe. I can't, I don't know what kind of mess that would make. I don't know, I just,
You got to get him off his sick leave first.
I think that's a better option to start with the least.
Let me see, we'll get it back up.
Yeah.
You can look at the culverts across the road and the driveways for reference of how deep it used to be compared to what it is now. I mean, they're really non-existent at this point.
Okay. The,
Hold on, Chuck. Alan, to address your grant, what you had just asked about Rebuild Alabama, we already have a CDBG open for the housing. And then we're opening another grant to help with this down here. And you can only have so many grants open at one
The
time.
Rebuild Alabama grants are specific to road improvement. I don't see what one would have to do with the other.
Well, they're all part of the same, the way David explained it was Rebuild Alabama is lumped in with another type of grant. And you can only have that one of that category of grant open at a time. I think I've got the paperwork that he sent me in the office. Because I
There is
believe
a,
Justin was asking about that at one point last year, right, Justin?
Yeah.
And I was asking about Rebuild Alabama grants way back last year as well for South Ainsley Street, because that road needs to be redone.
And if I remember correctly, David came to a meeting that night and explained it.
I remember David coming and talking about the low income housing grants that he had going on, but I don't see how. I'll research it myself and find out, but I don't see how low income housing grant is tied in with a Rebuild Alabama grant that's specific for road improvement. I don't see what one has to do with the other, but I'll research it.
Okay. The next, we're gonna, actually, I don't know if anybody noticed, we have been letting the Gamecock cheer teams use the main
That's great.
room, and they're using them 3 days a week for the younger girls. I think they're 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11. So I'm just telling you that the Gamecock cheer teams are practicing in the bay 3 nights a week through the end of October.
Aren't we around the time to renew their contract?
It's only minutes from, it's more in the binder.
I think September. September.
Yeah, and I've talked to Crystal, what's her name? Kristen Greenwell a couple times, reference the things that we've had to do with them lately, and she's never brought it up, so I'll bring it up.
Bring it up to them. Tell them we want to charge her.
I probably need council approval because Labor Day is on the first Monday of September. And we need to move the date. It's been suggested just to move it over to Tuesday. The water department is not in here on that Tuesday. Comments? September the 2nd?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. And I have a statement to read, reference the last meeting we had. At the 4 August Town Hall and Brockton Council meeting, Councilmember Alan Rodriguez provided political theatrics in showing a picture of part of Bird Mill Road. He exclaimed to the council and the public that this had just had gravel placed on it. His insinuation was the mayor had work done to the road only because the mayor lives on the road. This is obviously grandstanding to sway public opinion during an election. His fabrication and ranting completely without fact and knowledge of what had taken place on that road. As was stated by the mayor, only recent work done on the road in front of Coffee County Cowboy Church, the entrance to Bird Mill Road, where severe potholing had occurred during the recent heavy rains. This is verified by the list of work done by all 5 roads in New Brockton when the work was done according to the Coffee County Engineer Office. All work was completed on the 5 gravel roads in the town and was approved by the council in June of 24. His actions were a discredit to the town council and the public. This was by, I think, his actions negative in relationship to what the mayor has done for the roads in the town. I move for an adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Yes?
Yes.